proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. I recently reviewed a game called Transistor, the second game created by developers Supergiant Games. This was accomplished using my hype for their third and most recently released production, Pyre. Using my remaining hype, and time not spent playing Pyre, I thought it would be best to review Supergiant's first game, Bastion. I initially came across Bastion during some sale a couple of years ago. Due to its good reviews and the fact that I had a couple of bucks burning a hole in my Steam wallet, I decided to give it a go. Little did I know, I was in for a ride. The game starts off with the wonderfully gruff narration of Rux, voiced by Logan Cunningham, while a floating island fades into view. Sleeping in the middle of the island is the player character, known simply as the Kid. As the game progresses, you find out that this cataclysmic event called the Calamity has ripped the land of Caelondia to shreds. The game revolves around the Kid trying to reassemble and prepare the Bastion, a last city where people were meant to assemble in case of emergencies. While doing this, the player finds out more about the terrible origins of the Calamity through meeting new characters and visiting more locations, as well as through Ruck's narration. This game has many deep themes throughout that I would have never expected from what I saw on its store page. Bastion is primarily combat-based. The player can carry 2 weapons at one time, with the addition of a shield and a special ability. As the player gets deeper into the game, more weapons are available to use, and more upgrades are made available for each weapon you have. Each weapon has plenty of upgrades that can significantly change how it plays, and sometimes allow for better meshing with certain sets of other weapons. The player can find or purchase many different special abilities as well, each doing something distinct and useful. You eventually gain the use of certain drinks that act as perks. For instance, one allows for full health refill when using a healing tonic, another gives you an extra life, things like that. The combat design lends itself to many playstyles, meaning that you may breeze through some sections but be stuck in others trying to figure out a better strategy to push through. Exploration is a secondary feature of this game. Since it is story-driven, it does have a specific path of levels, but as you walk around said levels, the ground builds itself up around you. Sometimes this leads to the frustrating act of falling off an edge when it appears that something is going to rise up in the gap, but it doesn't detract much. The levels of Bastion are highly varied in environment, from murky swamps to frozen wastes. Each is jaw-dropping as the last when shown in their hand-drawn glory. The art direction of this game is spectacular. While it may not have higher resolutions available, Bastion's world is hand-drawn to the minute detail. The color palette is vibrant. Even the darker areas are still vibrantly darker, somehow. The animations are generally nice as well, but they occasionally lack the fluidity that eventually becomes part of Supergiant's following 2 games. This was Darren Korb's first time working with Supergiant to create a unique and admirable soundtrack. It would not be the last. Backing up Darren Korb's music and songs is Ashley Barrett, who lends her voice to one of the songs that is a centerpiece of this magnificence. As a side note, the singing was recorded in a closet. I have spent countless hours studying or just relaxing while listening to the soundtrack on the Bandcamp page after discovering Bastion. Once completed, the campaign can either be reset, or you have the option of doing a new game but retaining your old weapons, cash, and upgrades to continue improving them and discovering new secrets. There are even extra challenges you can do to improve your skill with weapons or learn more of the Kid's history, along with Rux and other characters. There are also ways to make enemies more powerful for other playthroughs, and that is a wonderful way to make the game replayable. On the whole, Bastion is a solid game, and to think that an indie studio with a minimal budget made this as their debut game made me wonder what was in store for them in the future. And I'm glad to say I have not been disappointed. It is definitely worth the purchase. I realize that its top-down combat may not be for everyone, but it is a classic game that I'm going to remember fondly and keep playing for years to come. As a side note, you can listen to the soundtrack on their Bandcamp page linked below, as well as buy the soundtrack there if you want to support Supergiant. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out my Transistor review linked somewhere, probably on the screen, maybe in the description.